Okay, hello GCC.
Hello.
My name is Brandilyn, or some of you all know me as Brandy. I came to GCC in October of 2018 after having two catastrophic events happen in my life. With that, I decided to take the energy that I have that really at the time was so negative and turn it into something positive by going to church. And I felt like GCC became my safe haven. God talked through Pastor Joel and spoke to me. He didn't know it, but that's what was happening. So when this trip came up for Cambodia, I felt like it was a good way for me to serve. I'm not in any community groups. I don't really do anything in the church besides come to church on Sunday. So I felt this was a good time for me to serve. So it didn't take long for me to realize that the team, we were very different from each other, very different. And I kind of wanted to quit after the first meeting and get out of it. But I agreed to have the meeting spot at my apartment, so I was kind of stuck in this. But for me, I'm very glad that I did stick with it because I've always felt like my walk with God wasn't the correct walk with God. I was saved when I was 16, but I'm not your typical Christian, I guess. I don't spout off scriptures. I only probably know the popular Bible stories. I work in corporate America, so it's very unethical and can be very grimy at times. But from meeting with the group, I learned that my walk with God is my walk with God. And each member in the team had their own walk with God. And we always talk as the team, like it's really amazing because had we met each other in the street, none of us would be friends because we were so different. But we all had this common ground, and that was our love with God and that we wanted to be closer with God. And so I learned through this team, well, I grew spiritually through this team. And I also, I guess, found my way more with God just from being around this team. So the best part about it was we each had unique gifts that God had blessed us with. And during this trip, we were all able to use these gifts to serve God and to do God's work in another country. So it was really amazing to see how we came together. And I think you all saw in the videos, I mean, we turned into the GCC hair shop. And I mean, we were in there and I mean, we were clipping their fingernails. We were washing their hair, cutting their hair. And these children, let me back up. For them, that place, the Vacation Bible School, became their safe haven. And we became their safe people because we were able to hug them and hold them. We were able to put the children on our laps and laugh with them and make them forget about all of their troubles that they had, even if it was for that moment. And we were able to teach them about Jesus. So, you know, these children, some of them hadn't bathed in weeks. You could, probably months, you could see sores all on them. You could see bruise marks where some of the kids' parents had been beating them. Some of them had HIV lesions on them. And when we were washing their hair, you know, they were full of lice. But I can tell you that there wasn't one person on the team that hesitated to touch those children. And I realized that not only our love helped them, it was our positive touch. Because these kids had been touched, but in the wrong way. But because we were able to touch them and love them, and we didn't care about if they smelled. We didn't care about, you know, what they looked like. So it was very, I think for us, humbling. And for them, it was, you know, for what they didn't get we were able to give it to them, even if it was just for that week. So with all of that being said, I want to encourage all of you all to do two things. One is I want you to talk with someone outside of your circle. So someone that's not your friend here in the church, someone that's not a friend of the friend, just somebody that you see in the church that you think maybe they're different from you. But I can tell you, just from the church members and all of us coming together and our differences, we did some great things in Cambodia. The second thing I encourage you to do, which you all are going to be able to practice in a moment, is I encourage you all to give positive touch in the church. So when we're praying, there's nothing wrong with holding somebody's hand. And when we do the meet and greet, it becomes very, oh, hey, what's your name? How are you? Doesn't really flow. I was telling Pastor Joe, there's people in this church who have introduced themselves to me 2 and 3 times, and they still don't know who I am. So with that being said, I know there's some cultural differences in here, but we have a Christian culture that we need to embrace. So everyone get on your feet and find somebody across the room and give them a hug and let them know that Jesus loves them and you love them too. Come on, get moving.